All right, then, to our positions for our Qigong today. And I'm going to try something a little bit different, and that is that we're going to have extremely few words, except for on what I consider to be three key movements. If you do nothing else in these three, you're good. And the first one, if we start with grounding, our first movement is, in fact, our deeply grounding movement, our arriving here and now. It can be gathered chi, but we are going to really focus on this as clearing chi. As our hands are sweeping up, it's like the sense of water. We're drawing up water from the earth over our heads, connecting to that energy and like washing down that water through our bodies, letting go of all the old. This is also a sense of looking up, invocation, and if you thought that you had a zipper, allowing yourself to unzip, to be open. Don't worry, we're going to zip up at the very end. Three more. Attention to really letting go. Oh, what's stuck? Oh, what's stagnant? Let it go. Have the sense of the water, the energized water, washing yourself clean. All of this being released, recycled through you to the earth. Last one. Hands float into your side. Now to our forward shoulder rolls. 9 of those. First 3 very physical. The next 3 tracking the breath. The final 3 very subtle. And last subtle forward roll. Resting for 3 breaths. Someone I believe is not muted. You might just check that in this pause. And to say a word about the breath. Tongue on the roof of your mouth. Breathing fully, but as gracefully and with ease. Many of us are trained to Ujjayi yoga breath. Very gentle breathing. And it's that more or less limits how physical this gets. We're keeping it subtle. Forward rolls now. Maybe I said wrong, but this is going forward. The last was back. This is forward and going back and opening up and pressing down. You can also work with the breath, starting with the physical, hearing the breath, tracking it more internally when you're watching the breath on the next 3, and seeing how gentle, how silent, how perfectly flowing it can be on the last 3. One more rotation. Resting gently. Letting the energies find their way. Settling into stillness. And now for our concentration circulation, starting here at the left, dropping down, coming around up on the right, and circling around our lower energy center. Attention on that spot in the middle of your belly. Gentle breaths, perhaps feeling warmth come. One more revolution. And this time, letting your hands face in towards your foundational energy center. Feel the contact between your palms and your belly. Next is between heaven and earth, left down, right up, and exchanging these two energies. First three, perhaps with the deeper bends and the greater stretch. Next three, really feeling the flow. Last three, settle. And last one. After your exhale, let that above hand float down to rest. Deeply feeling your connection above as well as below. Next, our Tai Chi, perhaps stepping out to a broader stance, out to the left, hands to the left. Complete exhale before we start circling. Full inhale, balanced, full exhale. Working our Ming Men, the gate of vitality in our back. And then one final circle. Bringing your left foot in, hands resting towards your lower foundational energy center. Enjoying that flow. Being in your body. And now for the next one, I really want to put focus on and show how much you can do with these movements. This one becoming an invocation and a prayer. And this is the one working with our spleen pancreas point right here. the one that is said to take 10,000 ills and pains and all the worries and cares. So much of this has to do with, we could say, the immunity, the sorting out what is us, what is other, what is true, what is false, what kind of alarm state do we need to have, what story are we telling ourselves. So if we just take and think as we raise our hands out and we're opening this point, we are allowing ourselves to be aware of our pain, our worries, the story that may or may not be true. And as we go forward, we are releasing all which does not serve us, all which pains us, all which brings worry and concern. We're bringing in pure energy. We're bringing that into us to fill us with pure energy and release anything more of that. We don't need to know what it is. We're just choosing with intent to let go. And here we are opening to the abundance. Oh my heavens. We are opening, we are concentrating, we are opening to the universality of love, where we ultimately do not need these alarms. There's not separate, there's not other, there's not us. This beautiful energy, and we're bringing that into ourselves. And again, my pains, my worries, the story I'm telling, that which does not serve, let it go. Can I know it's true? Let it go. Bring in pure, universal light, wisdom. Let me be filled and let me go away all of my little story. Let me open up to being one, to knowing there is a place of no boundaries. And let me bring that unconditional love to myself. Letting go of the story. Being empowered by the truth. Opening up to the abundance of oneness, that which gives harmony and peace. And the point where you're releasing a very long belly pressing in, a little bit more effort than usual. Same here, let go of all that can be let go. And allow yourself to find an own invocation, an own aspiration, an own prayer in these movements. One could do this until there were, I don't know if we want to go for no more bodily pains, but absolutely no more mental, emotional worries and cares. Or on this last one, we can set the intent, all that I can release for the higher good, I let it go. I am empowered. I receive abundant energy. And I know harmony and peace. Hands resting there. On the belly. At your core. Your foundation. All right, now our next water coming in here, dropping down, gathering the cleansing waters to our kidneys and releasing. If the other earth was more mental thinking worries, this is more emotional feelings. No words, no thought, just releasing it to the water. Letting those ruffled waves settle into the one ocean. Last one. And as you settle here with your hands gently resting, sometimes the world is much with us. Moving on now to our other water, opening widely, gathering it in, coming around, holding your kidneys, place of fear. Last one, gathering that energy. Bring that healing water to your kidneys and release all fear that you can. And then let your hands float down. And now our final movement, which is our third focus, the closing, which is, as promised, where you are zipping yourself up here. So when we're done, you feel zipped up and ready to go out. And here is the deep nourishment from the well below, filling up your cup. Here is contacting the light and the warmth from above and filling the bubble around you with that. That light of discernment, shedding light on what is true, is what allows that which is good and right to come into your aura and is what helps function to keep that which does not serve you out. Nourishing yourself with the elementals, receiving universal protection. Lifting yourself up, looking upwards, being the center of your circle, heart-centered, balanced, integrated. And as you come down from wherever you are, We'll be here a moment so we can do the last one together. Feeling strongly our circle as we gather up, living here at the heart. All of us at one time looking above, feeling our circle, our individual and our joint circle. Right hand crossing in front of left, sealing us in front and in back. Arms coming up to your heart fire and gliding down to the earth as you breathe out, releasing, aligning with the earth. As you breathe in, bringing in that energy through you. Breathe out, release to the above, align, and let that energy rain down outside of you. And just a moment to savor the deliciousness of how sparkly, how bright, yet how settled it can feel. Before we move on to our cushions and our Tao yoga. Finding your cross-legged position, such as comfortable for you. Hands on your knees, settling in, using what props are good for you. And circling to the left, breathing out as we're dropping down and in as we're rising up. And finding whether it's following the breath, doing the eye rotations, or if there are chosen qualities you'd like to work with today. Lifting up compassion, bringing down and in wisdom is my great go-to. Keep circling. And coming to a hold there, sitting still for a while in the middle. As I practice the art of acceptance. And now to the right. One more revolution. I'll take this as bringing in the humor, the lightness, the not taking it so seriously, and lifting up the laughter. We practice with what is in these our daily lives. Clasping your hands together, thumbs and pinkies, starting with exhaling to the left, tracing our infinity symbol, breathing in to the right, out to the left. And then going for a long exhale, emptying, releasing. Before, when the time is right, you start breathing in on your ascent upwards. Breathing in, not forcing, going in the right tempo for you. A few last sips, remaining here as long as you can with a full breath before exhaling on the way down. And in your own pace. And then one last rise and ascent, or rise and fall. Wouldn't we love it if we could just rise and ascend? But we're here in our bodies, in our real lives, coming back down to hands, painting our infinity symbol by the ground, by our lower parts. And we're taking our palms, pressing them into our bellies for our 3 breaths, pressing in as we breathe in. securing our chi, our energy. And finding now a shawl, a blanket, your cushion to raise your hips a bit for our closing meditation. Here's where we might want our feet crossed a little more over. Settling in, however is comfortable. It's not about the physical posture. Thinking today of thought, word, and deed, and flipping that. Starting down here. Deed, doing, body, down here in our first station. Body, be still. Hands floating up to our heart. Heart mind by Chinese Buddhist thought. So here, word, speech, thinking, be silent. And now hands with your thumbs coming to your third eye. Thought, intent. Mind, be open, be spacious. Then hands falling gently out to the side, palms open, or middle finger pressed to thumb. Seeing this equation of body be still, speech be silent, thinking be spacious. Taking that, gathering it now to you, this is our equation, our recipe for serenity. A short moment here, savoring serenity. Still, silent, spacious. Savoring the last moment of sweet serenity. 3 conscious breaths. And then open your eyes. All right then. This is when we come back to our computer stations, joining our circle here. This is where I end our recording so that we go towards our sharing, our sacred sharing.